Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of this 20 first tools that you should buy. Like I said, they're all hand tools for the most part. We got, some electrical tools and then a drill we're going to talk about in a minute here. But I hope you guys watched part 1. If you didn't, go back to that video first, see kind of the idea of what we're talking about here, and then come back and check this video out, and then let me know if you have any recommendations, or tell me, hey dude, you missed something on your list. And here we go. So we kind of talked 20 through 10, so we actually did 11 in the last video. So we're going to do 9 through number 1 on this video. So we're going to start with number 9, hammer. This is the hammer I want to talk about. This is the one you're going to want to have, is a claw hammer. This is a $150 hammer. If you're buying your first hammer, it doesn't need to be a stiletto titanium hammer, but I would recommend it. I do love it. This is one of my favorite tools of all time. But you need to have something to put in nails. You need to have something to pry nails. Even just demolition work, you can claw through drywall with this, which is why this looks the way it does, is from doing some demolition. And just take care of it. If you're going to get something with a wooden handle, make sure you take care of that handle. Put boiled linseed oil on it or something every once in a while. Just take care of it because you want this to last a long time. So I would recommend buying something that's of good quality, but it doesn't have to break the bank like something like this does. I got this as a gift, so let's not chastise me for having a $150 hammer when I don't do carpentry work. Let me just talk about another claw hammer. This is iconic Estwing. You can tell that this one's been used a long time because this handle started to green. These handles start off blue and kind of like a nice rubber. This one's been used forever, but this is metal. You don't have to worry about the wooden handle like I was just saying. And these can be had for anywhere from $30 to $50. And probably as a first hammer, this is what I'm recommending. This will last you the rest of your life. You can pass it down. This one came from my grandfather, I believe. So this has been used many, many years. It hangs on my workbench pegboard, and it'll be used for many more years. So take care of your tools. You'll have these for a long time. But you need a hammer. You gotta have a hammer in your kit. And then I want to talk about dead blow hammer. I got this one from Walmart. It was probably $6 or $7. This is a 2-pounder, I think. Yep, 2-pounder. And this, you can hear it, has shot inside of it. And what that does is as you swing back, all the shot moves to the back of the hammer. And as you come down, all that shot moves forward. What that does is keeps the hammer from bouncing back up. So it's called a dead blow, so that when you hit, it all blows, or it stops dead after the blow. So it comes down and it stops there. I like having this to work on the car, persuading something into place. I find that the 2-pound is the perfect size. I have a couple from Harbor Freight, the Pittsburgh ones. I have a 3-pound and a 2-pound from there. I find that I like the 2-pound the best. So pick one of these up. It's worth having around. You probably won't use it a whole lot when you're first starting out, but it is something that's good to have. Like I said, I got this from Walmart, so you can always find something like this, and it'll last a long time. It's got a rubber coating, so you feel good about hitting things that you're worried about ruining. You're not, hitting them with a nice metal face. You're hitting them with rubber. So that's number 9, the hammer. I think I'm going to switch my list order just because of the way stuff's laid out. I want to talk about channel locks next. So, or adjustable pliers. And I got a whole bunch here just for the demonstration purposes. But the ones I'm going to show off at first is these Knipex ones. I love these. These are called the Cobra pliers. They adjust by pressing in this button, and then it allows you to slide these back and forth. But if you don't press in that button, that won't slide. You're going to use these all the time, and I can demonstrate on this hammer here. But for grabbing things like this, pipes, I find myself using these if I'm trying to screw in or screw out toilet bolts, or any kind of fastener that you need to unscrew, or a nut or a bolt that you need to undo. Having one of these is kind of essential. These are expensive. If I was gonna only be able to have, one of everything in my life, or a few of everything in my life, this is kind of the set that I would have right here. And I'd be able to get just about anything done. I want to say this is 7.5 or 1/4 inch, 10 inch. and 12-inch, I believe is what this is. I don't really want for anything bigger than this. That can do a lot of work for me. And that's kind of the perfect set. This set right here would run you about $100 though. And I know we're talking about your first 20 tools, so buying $100 worth of adjustable pliers might seem silly. They'll last you the rest of your life. You'll pass them down to your kids, but you know, it might just seem like a lot for now. So here's another set of Knipex just to show you what kind of everything in this style of plier came from. Was this adjustable like this. They had grooves and you'd be able to just slide it and then put it into place. And it was really more like this style, tongue and groove. You can see that. So these are from Tecton. These are way cheaper. These are maybe $10, whereas these are probably $30, $35. So, I mean, you make your decisions. I would spend some money. Obviously, I have spent some money to have some good tools around my house, but you're gonna probably want just 1 or 2 sets with the parallel jaws. I'd buy the cheaper set like that. I more often enjoy having the ones with those angled jaws like that. And that's why all of mine, for the most part, are that. But Tecton is a good choice. You can buy something like this. I think these are USA made, to be honest, which is really nice. And then here's Doyle, which is a Harbor Freight brand. And I actually would recommend these, and I've used these extensively. You can see they've been used. And they have those groove jaws, and you can buy these for a decent price. So adjustable pliers, pretty high up on the list of things that you should have. I'm gonna set those aside. Excuse me. Adjustable wrench. And I would love to include real wrenches, box end wrenches. But we're just gonna have to start with the adjustable wrench. And honestly, I didn't use box end wrenches for the longest time. I pretty much only used these, and I got by for a lot of my life that way. Then I started working on, you know, automotive and my motorcycle and 4-wheelers and whatever else, and that's when I was like, I could see why you want wrenches. But household tasks, this is fine. Make sure you get a good setting. I should have had a nut ready to show you this, but these can round out the heads of nuts pretty easily if you don't have them set tightly. So make sure you get on 2 parallel sides and tighten this down to a good tighten. But this just allows you 0 to 1 inch sizes. I am missing my other adjustable wrench, but here's an 8-inch, here's a 6-inch. You don't need to have multiple sizes. I think if you're gonna only have one, probably this is the one to have, the 8-inch. But I like having the small. You probably would too if you're just trying to do something small around the house. It's nicer to have the smaller tool. But I would recommend having a 10-inch and a 12-inch. And for all that, you can probably buy that set at Home Depot for like maybe $20, $30 at the most. So adjustable wrenches, definitely something you're gonna need to have. It's not the best tool for the job, but sometimes it's the only tool, and if you have it, it's a lot better than not having any tool for what you're trying to do. And these are good. Guy taught me when I was first starting out to have backup. So whenever you're gonna do a bolt and a nut, you gotta have 2. So you gotta have one to hold the nut and one to turn the bolt. So you always back up. So make sure you have 2, you know, if you have 2 channel locks, maybe that might be you're just doing it like this, or you wanna have a plier or adjustable wrench and channel locks, or you could do 2 adjustable wrenches, whatever it might be. Just make sure you have a backup and be prepared to do that. A lot of the times, and most guys that are been doing this a while can hold that nut, you know, with their fingertips and turn it out, and they'll get away with that. But make sure you bring the right tool to the job, and that's why I'm saying at least 2 of those. And then here's an honorable mention. The costly honorable mention is the Knipex pliers wrench. So this adjusts just like the Cobra pliers. So you see these, and this, let's just talk. This is the best combo I know. So if you want to buy something, buy these. Buy those right there. If you want to spend some money, it's about $100 worth of tools right there. But this is like a toolbox in one. This is does all the things of this, a lot of the things this can do, and then this just has amazing gripping power, and it's good backup and whatever. So you got 2 parallel jaws with these. Something that's nice is when you want to turn on a fastener, you can see that moves ever so slightly. And what you can do It's kind of hard to demonstrate with my hand, but as you turn that fastener and you run out of room, you open this, and that gives you just enough room to sneak this around without turning that fastener, clamp back on the fastener, and turn it. These are pretty sweet. They're like probably $65 by themselves. I would recommend this size, which is the 180s or 7.5 inch. The 10 inch would also be a good buy, which is the 250 millimeter. So that's it. That's the adjustable wrench. Let's get off that topic. Why I switched up my list orientation here was because I think I'm realizing that I forgot something on my list, so we're gonna end up having 21. But this is the next thing on the list, so I kind of lost track here. I think we did, the hammer was 9. Let's say crescent wrench or adjustable wrench was 8. 7 was the channel locks or tongue and groove pliers, and then we're gonna go socket set being number 6. I think that's correct. This is the set I'm recommending. You can do whatever you want, spend your money how you want. You can go to Harbor Freight and buy a socket set, but I'm telling you to spend money on this Tekton 3/8 set. I think this will run you like $150 now. I bought this for like 90. You know, inflation's crazy right now, so I'm sorry about that, but there's not much I can do about it. This set is pretty well rounded. This goes from 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters, so that's incredibly small. 6 millimeter, you're gonna have a hard time finding any nut smaller than that. And 1/4 inch, same thing. That's pretty considerably small. So you got deep sockets, so this will allow you to get a good reach or recess this deep inside of wherever it needs to go. So you have deeps 1/4 inch all the way up until 1 inch, which is huge. And that's deeps and shallows. And then you have shallows and deeps of 6 millimeter all the way up to 24 millimeter, which is considerably large. What's cool about this set and why I'm recommending this set is this breaker bar. And why I'm picking this set is because of this breaker bar. My car uses 19 millimeter lug nuts, so I would put this deep on there. And yeah, that's not impact rated, but you get this breaker bar, and this probably isn't exactly the perfect length for trying to break off lug nuts or get them loose. But you throw a pipe over the end of this and you're golden. You can get tires off of your car. You know, you can get a crazy amount of leverage on this. And the nice thing about Tekton tools is they have that warranty that I break this thing in half. And maybe it was misuse, but they still stand by their tools. Let's say I broke this in half because I put a pipe on it. They're gonna send me a new breaker bar, and that's just because that company is great. I really like Tekton tools. As you're buying this type of tool, pliers or sockets, wrenches, those types of things, I would really take a hard look at Tekton. I think that they really make a great product, and I would recommend it. I'm not sponsored by them. They didn't send me anything. I wish they did, but I'm a big fan. They got these extensions, so this allows you to reach down with your sockets. I'm just gonna make this look goofy. So I put my 3 inch on the 6 inch, so I got 9 inches of extension. So I put that on my ratchet. This is a really nice 90 tooth ratchet. Maybe you can hear how smooth that sounds. Reverse directions, so I can tighten something in or loosen it out. And then it's got this quick release button, so you press this button and it allows that to pull off. But just an awesome set. That I can't recommend enough. And if I'm only going to have one, I'm starting with the 3/8 size because it gives you a lot of the small sizes all the way up to the large sizes. And it's also, you know, allows you to get a lot of different products. So I would just recommend 3/8 Tekton Complete Master Set. And it comes in this really nice case. Locks down, latches, and this shake this around, throw it under a seat, and nothing's gonna come out of place. It's all exactly where I left it. So recommend this a lot. That Tekton set is specifically what I'm recommending here, but you can buy your own, find your own, do your own research, get your own set. Okay, let's see, number 5. It's a big screwdriver. Because this is kind of directed towards someone that's first time homeowner or or just starting out, I'm not going to talk about pry bars, I don't think. But I'm going to talk about these heavy demolition type screwdrivers. So what's unique about these is they have this metal end cap, and you can see, this is why I put this one in this demonstration, this metal shank goes all the way through. So when I strike this with a hammer, let's say this S-wing, if I strike that, it delivers all of that impact directly into the tip of the screwdriver. And what's nice about that, and what I've used this specific DeWalt one a lot for, is prying at things, sticking in between things, you know, popping them open. This shaft is incredibly strong. This Milwaukee is a little fancier, a little more heavy duty. Got that same idea, striking cap. It's got this big heavy bolster. This is square. It's got a cutting edge for cutting ductwork. This is more expensive, but you can get this and a heavy duty Phillips in a set for 15 bucks. And I'm going to recommend that. So I don't really care so much about the Phillips. I don't really ever use it. But the heavy slotted demolition screwdriver is a must for a first time tool buyer. So consider that. That's number 5 on my list. Sounds like I'm getting a cold. Tape measure, number 4. Gotta have a tape measure. It's pretty self-explanatory. I feel like most people know how these work. Couple things to note. Every good tape measure, you can read that possibly. That says on there 3 1/8 inches. That shows you how wide this is. So if you were to butt this against something, let's see, like this, I could measure from here to the end of this, and basically you take whatever number I see here, add 3 inches and 1/8 to that number, and that gives you this entire length. You can do that. That's just kind of something neat to notice. There's different things about tape measures that are different, but this locks down. That'll keep that tip out. You want to look for one with a good standout. Stanley Fat Max is my recommendation. If I can only have one, I'm getting the 25 foot. Just gives you a lot of options. Might be a little bulkier than you need most of the time, but it's nice to have that length if you need it. Another thing to know, these move. These tips move. And the idea for that is to compensate for the width of that blade. So if I was to press this against something, it'll push in. And when I push it in, it compensates for that width, so it keeps this measurement accurate. Then when I put it on an edge and I pull against it, you know, it moves just ever so slightly that it's measuring now from the edge or the inside edge of that blade back, and I'm still going to be accurate. That's important to know. So another thing that's really good to know about tape measures is what's called burning an inch. So sometimes, and a lot of times, what I'll do is start my measurement at the 1 inch mark. So if I set this down on a surface, I start at the 1 inch mark wherever I'm measuring, and let's say it goes to 6. Well, because I have an inch here that I just used, I got from 1 to 6, I know that that's 5 inches of distance, so I'm burning this last inch off. And I do that because I don't want to mess with worrying if this blade is where it needs to be or not. A lot of people do that. I do that almost every time I pull out a tape measure. So just something to know. Tape measure, number 4, it's almost essential. Hanging up pictures, measuring things in your house. You're going to need to have it. Make sure you have one, a tape measure. Okay, number 3. All things knives. I got 3 different options here. I think what I'm going to recommend the most would be this combination, if you're only going to buy 2. Sorry, I'm out of frame. A regular pocket knife. This is something you should be carrying in your pocket. If you're a boy or a girl, doesn't matter. Everybody should be carrying a pocket knife. Self-defense, cutting open boxes, using as a tool during the day. It's just important to have. I really like these Gonzo Firebirds. If you can get one delivered to your state, for some reason they want delivered to my state, New York, I would buy them. This is an awesome knife, 20 bucks. I've used this for 3 years now. I sharpen it, every 6 months or so. And it's been holding up really good. It's got this, they call it the G-Lock. It's copying Benchmade's Axis Lock. Benchmade's Axis Lock, yep. And it basically, you pull down and it unlocks this. And once it's up, it keeps it stiff. So, makes it really easy to flip. Kind of fun to fidget and play with. But I would have one of these. You're going to want to have one when you're working on projects, just to be able to cut open boxes or pry at little things, whatever it might be, you're gonna want to have one. And then, and I like the straight razor knife when I'm cutting carpet. It's nice to have this be one solid piece. I feel like it's a little sturdier in the hand, but you need to have a razor blade. I don't know how else to recommend that. That they just keep these type of blades. This locks in. Well, now you're gonna see it get all goofed up. I think it's because that blade's rusty. So just snaps in, out, and retracts. Keeps you safe. You're not gonna cut anything. This allows you to cut whatever, wire or little seat belts, I think is why they make this notch. I don't know, but good to have. Cutting carpet, opening boxes. Then if you want to combine the two, this is awesome, and I don't know how more people aren't talking about them. A lot of people still love the Milwaukee Fastbacks, and I'm not here to say anything bad about them. Sorry, I don't have a blade in this one, but I don't like this as much as this. These are good knives. I'm not gonna say it's not, but this Fiskars Pro, I mean, look at that. Talk about fitting good in your hand. It's just wonderful. You can choke up on it and get your middle finger in this groove, and their blades are just second to none. Press in on this button to release, possibly. Oh, slide up too. They've got this proprietary notch. I think they will still hold a regular blade. I'm not sure about that, honestly. But close that down. And this, what's cool about this, just like the Fastback, has this press in button to deploy. And this is an awesome knife. I think they're about the same price, so I'm buying this one every time. You can get these at Lowe's. I bought mine on Amazon, but you can get them at Lowe's. That's knives. That was number 3 on the list. Okay, so this one's kind of a big one. Very expensive, the most expensive one on the list, unless you buy some crazy expensive multimeter. But I want to talk about the drill, and then the driver bits, and drilling bits. So let's just talk about the drill. I already made a video on this, the Milwaukee M12 fuel hammer drill, 1/2 inch. This can hold up to a 1/2 inch shank. Inside of its chuck, it has the ability to hammer, so you can drill through concrete. Which might be helpful to those with basements. And it allows you to put holes in things or drill in fasteners. So I'm going to recommend getting a nice set of drill bits. This is one I use most often. It's because I carry my impact at work a lot. So this is actually the set I use at work. But I can use my impact and chuck it in and just, quickly drill a hole if I need to. But this set goes all the way from 1/16 of an inch all the way to a 1/2 of an inch. And it's in a really nice Milwaukee case. You can see I got my name and labels on this, and I would know if this one's mine. Another thing, and I actually recommend these, you can buy these at Harbor Freight. This is a very extensive collection of bits, and if you're just a homeowner, not drilling holes for a living, this gives you a lot of options. And these are like $10 on sale, $20 normally. So 29 different pieces. They got doubles of some sizes that you'll use a lot and break. And every single one of those can chuck inside this drill and drill those holes that you need to. This Makita set's one of my favorites. It's actually got most of the things I want and none of the things I don't. All different sizes of Phillips. Square drivers, 1 through 3. Different size Torx with the longer shanks. Other sizes of Torx, more Torx. Different slotted. And then some hex sizes, which is really handy to have. These are nice to have when you are putting together furniture, like I was saying in the last video with the hex keys. And then this even has a 1/4 inch adapter, which as you grow your toolkit, you'll want to have this because you can use your 1/4 inch sockets. So we just talked about 3/8 inch sockets, but if you were to get some 1/4 inch sockets, you could use those with this on your drill and be able to run things in a lot faster. And these knot drivers are going to be essential for plumbing. You're going to need them for Fernco fittings. You're going to need them to take your furnace cover off. You're going to need them for all sorts of different things, 5/16 and 1/4 inch. And that's another reason to have those. So these can get chucked into this drill and allows you a lot faster way to drill and or drive something. So This right now, I don't even know what these cost right now, but I bought this in a kit. But I know at the time you could buy this for $100. I've got a bigger battery on it, but that's whatever. I think these are $30 for this nicer Makita set. This is probably, this bigger arrangement is probably about 30 bucks. So I'm looking at like, $200 right there. And then if you want to have extra cheaper backup bits, you're spending a little more, but it's worth having. I'll never forget one of my friend's dads. I went to their house and I asked if I could borrow their drill. I was working on something in their driveway and he didn't have one. And I couldn't believe it. I still to this day don't even think that guy owns a drill, and I just don't know how. It's something I've had in my hand since I was 10 and using around the house, working on random projects, hanging stuff up, whatever it might be. I just could not believe that he didn't own a drill. So don't be that guy. Make sure you have a drill. Go buy a drill. That's number 2 on the list. Now, I realized that I forgot to put this on the list, and I probably would have ditched the pipe wrench off the list from the last video if I had remembered to put this on the list, but side cutters. So we're just going to put this as 1.5. You need to have these. This is one of my most grabbed tools. Cutting zip ties, cutting open packaging. Christmas time, you want to be the guy that has this pair of side cutters and cutting those kids' toys open with all those little wire ties and shit. I like the Kleins. I've got this pair. I always buy the angled offset ones. They're just easier to get into places. I don't ever find the need to have a pair that doesn't have that angled head, that just has a straight head. I've never saw a reason that this hindered something I was doing. So buy the angled head. I like having it. Buy the Kleins. I kind of screwed these up. These are new. I bought these to put on the bench because the pair I had were blown out in the middle from cutting hot wires on accident. And they were tight when I bought them. They were really stiff, and I ended up trying to put them in the vise and move the thing with my Sawzall, and I chewed up the handle. So I'm kind of bummed about that. Been just kind of rubbing at that, trying to... You guys will laugh. You guys will know what I'm talking about if you made it this far in the video. You don't like stiff tools. But get a pair of side cutters. So that's number 2. Or 1.5, I'm sorry. And then probably, if anything on this list is essential and in an order, number 1 deserves to be number 1, the multi-bit screwdriver. And I do have 2 different versions of this, but really this is the kind I'm talking about today. But you have a couple options here. Let's talk about this. This is an 11-in-1, so I've got 2 different sizes of Phillips. I got Phillips 1 and 2 on either end of this bit. You can flip this around. This is a 1/4-inch nut driver. You're gonna need this if you've got to work on your furnace. Slotted, not exactly sure the size. 1/4-inch and 3/16-inch slotted, so you need those. This is the perfect size for trim plates on electrical switches or outlets. You can also use this side as a 1/4-inch nut driver. This is a, let's see, 3/8. Would that be 3/8 nut driver? I'm not exactly sure, but that's one of the 11 tools. I'm missing a bit out of this, and this is why this one lives on my bench top, but this did have a Torx T20 and a T25 bit that went in there. You'll need that for a lot of different types of fasteners. This is not a nut driver. This is a sleeve to hold bits. Do not use this as a nut driver. You will ruin it. This is square 1 and 2. A lot of electrical fittings use Robertsons or squares. And then 5/16. And like I said, if you're going to work on your furnace, you want to have this. This is what's going to take off the covers. 5/16 will be what takes off the covers of your furnace. Almost guaranteed. If not, it's probably 1/4-inch. So multi-bit nut drivers like this, you could throw this in your pocket and you can do a hell of a lot of stuff. This and these tools will do just about anything I need to do in my house. For the most part, I can do quite a bit with those 3 things right there, and I wouldn't recommend them enough. Just the honorable mention, this type of multi-bit screwdriver, this just holds bits with those quick chocks on them. So you lock those in. This is nice and tight. I love this Weehaw one. I find it to be awesome. So that's that. You can put in an extension, get a lot of reach out of it. And then this one, we're getting extreme here, but look at that. That's a nice long screwdriver. This actually has like 0 play in it. These are Makita bits. And you can put this in here. Oop. and use that as a screwdriver like that too. So whatever you decide's best for you is what you should buy, but I like the style for the house and a lot of things, even in my job. That's the video. The only thing I will say, one more honorable mention, and this is not a tool that I feel like I need to tell people to buy, but it is PPE, eye protection. Especially if you're inexperienced, this is something you should probably be wearing. Eye protection. Honestly, even if you are experienced, that's when you get cocky and too confident with what you're doing, and you get your eye poked out. And then ear protection. Those two things are really essential. Probably a dust mask wouldn't hurt. I could probably come up with another 10 tools like that. So if you guys want to see, the first 30 tools you should buy, let me know. I will make that video. If you have any recommendations, something I missed, anything that you think should be included in this list that's not, please leave it down in the comment section below. I'm sorry that these 2 videos were so insanely long. I hope you enjoyed watching. See you guys in the next video.